Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about managing setbacks. This is something you're going to have to learn how to deal with. And I think most dieters never learn how to deal with setbacks. I think they either avoid them, maybe they fight through them sometimes, but they never really learn how to strategically manage setbacks. And I think it's one of the biggest mistakes dieters make because you're going to have setbacks, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to screw up, and you're going to do all those things a lot. So I think starting your journey with the idea that you're going to start perfect, continue to be perfect until you reach your goal perfectly is setting you up for failure for a bunch of reasons. I think one, it sets expectations up completely wrong. And I think most importantly, though, is that it leaves you completely unprepared for when the setback happens. And this is where I find a lot of dieters exist in. It's that all or nothing mentality of being either 100% perfect with everything you're doing or just not thinking about it at all. And with Program Yourself Thin, we always build around this all or something mentality. Because in my opinion, the most important skill of mastering your weight, of living at your goal weight, is the ability to get back on track quickly. And I say this as someone who's lost 50 pounds and stayed at the same weight for over 30 years. I've made a million mistakes. I'm constantly making mistakes. I'm always making food choices that aren't the best ones, but I'm able to absorb them. I'm able to minimize them. I'm able to get back on track quickly when they happen. And this is literally all because I've strategically focused on what can I do to get back on track quickly. And where most dieters are terrified of making a mistake. And they literally have a phrase for kind of a psychological concept that's specifically unique to dieters, which is called the what the hell effect. And they've literally studied this scientifically. And long story short is that when a dieter makes a mistake, they tend to go way off the other side, right? So again, the what the hell effect is, I screwed up here, so who cares now? The day is blown, the week's blown, the month's blown, the year's blown, whatever. And once they get this in their mind that that's blown, they're off to the races. And this is the big problem. You know, again, and coming back to the concept of all or nothing, which I always say is referred to as nothing or all. It's probably more accurate description. Most dieters are more nothing than they are all, you know, so I think that reflects a more accurate state of the union for most dieters. But the idea is that, you know, again, we want to be all or something because it's so much of your weight really more comes down. It comes down to less about being all the time and being perfect, and has a lot more to do with not being nothing and being something. That is like the biggest secret to weight loss and living at your goal weight that I could share with you, is that instead of thinking you're going to go from nothing to being all perfect, you can still do that, by the way. That's why I say all or something still allows for that. There's going to be times when life's just working for you. You're motivated, you're fired up, you're excited, and you want to hit it 100%, knock yourself out. Okay. So you can always do that. The real magic of all or something comes with the something piece. And so most dieters will look at weight loss as going from nothing to all, being perfect, losing the weight, and then just staying there forever. That's kind of how they think about it. Very kind of childish to think of it this way, right? It's very, very inaccurate, very vague. So instead, what we want to do is we want to realize, yeah, you might jump up to all for a little while, but there's a good chance you go back to nothing. And that's what we want to switch. We want to go up to all when we go up to all, but then when we're not feeling like being all, we still want to be doing something. And that's the magic. Because when you start living from nothing to something, that shift alone is an improvement in your weight. But most importantly, is you're starting to raise the foundation up. You see? So instead of just thinking you have one way to get there, which is just jumping up to the all mode and being perfect, instead we realize we can do that. But then there's a good chance that we're going to run out of steam a little bit, or life's going to happen and we're going to not be able to be 100%. And then we're prepared to go to something mode, but never back to nothing mode ever again. And this is the secret to success, because when you stay at something mode for a while, what happens is you're still improving. And, you know, listen, time passes, folks, right? There's a good chance you listening to this right now, you've probably been trying to lose weight for decades. So, I mean, time's going to pass. So why not focus on the big picture, focus on your long-term success? And if you start focusing on the something mode, that's how you comfortably start to create change. Again, you're fired up, motivated, have the time, energy, knock yourself out to everything perfect. But we've got to assume that in life, work stress, health stress, relationship stress, life stress. Stress is going to visit us, and we're not going to have the energy, the focus, the motivation to be perfect with our plan. And that's where we have to start preparing ourselves. What are we going to do then? And again, program yourself thin. That's a big core of what we're doing. We're not trying to be perfect with everything. We're looking to strategically and systematically improve the base and then build on top of those improvements. You see? And that's how you start to manage the setbacks, is that you're prepared for them. It's not the end of the world because you expected it, and you have strategies ready to go when they happen. Because setbacks are always going to happen. I mean, geez, setbacks can be triggered by literally anything, right? I mean, literally. I mean, for me, just this week alone, a setback was triggered, and it's not really a setback even. That's another beauty of this whole approach, is eventually you don't really look at it as setbacks. You just look at it as a life. You deal with it, you move on, right? But I can make not the healthiest food choice. My daughter could bring some donuts home from a special place. Well, there they are. Now I'm eating some donuts that I wasn't going to eat this week. Then all of a sudden, I don't know, like I had a bad night of sleep and I'm feeling hungry in the, after lunch, after breakfast, and I go get a snack. So, I mean, like anything can kind of make this happen. This idea that you're going to step into a diet and 100% just make perfect choices is just such a great way to set yourself up for failure. And I that's the thing I despise about the diet mindset more than anything else, is this idea that it's perfection or nothing. No pain, no gain. If you're not just struggling and straining, then it's not worth it. You're not getting the best results possible. I hate that mindset with a passion. And I much prefer the slow, steady approach that's way more comfortable and easy, where I don't have to be perfect, where I don't have to change absolutely everything all at once. I can strategically choose what I want to work on. And I can make that choice based on what's going to be comfortable for me. Because when you approach your weight loss with a sense of comfort and ease and calm and patience, everything changes. It's way less overwhelming because you're not constantly trying to do everything all at once. I mean, it makes sense, I hope, when you look at it from a different angle, but we've been so hypnotized by the diet industry that it's hard for us to think about weight loss in any other way other than this dieting, this all or nothing, 100 mile an hour in one direction approach. But you have to fight against that. This is the reason why 75% of the population is overweight or obese. This is the reason why 93 to 98% of dieters that lose weight on a diet put the weight back on. So again, we have to disengage from that mindset and start looking at your weight anew. And you'll realize that once you do that, the answers a lot of times are pretty obvious. They're pretty commonsensical. As if you don't want to start your plan, it's because you're feeling overwhelmed by it. It's because it's stressful. It's hard. It's difficult. Start a little slower. Do something. That's the secret. So hopefully this helps you out, and realize, again, setbacks are normal. Mistakes are normal. They're not a big deal as long as you learn and grow from them, as long as you're expecting them and ready for them, and you have some strategies ready to go, to deal with them. And I hope that this helps you out, and that you start to not fear your setbacks and mistakes, but you start to learn, grow, and manage them. And if you want some more help with this approach, click the link in my bio or go to Program Yourself, then get the free hypnosis session, watch the training video I made for you, read the emails I send you. It's all free. Okay. So that'll all help you out. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them, and we'll get them. Melting over here. It is 10,000 degrees where I'm at. My air conditioner is barely getting the job done. But I hope you're all having a nice day. It feels like summer. I hope it feels like summer where you're at, because it feels like it where I'm at, and it's glorious, even though it's 10,000 degrees. You can't even go outside. But I like the heat, so that's all right. Floppy Roofs Ragdoll says, I have found your all or something is the best mentality in those times of struggle. Plan B. Yeah, exactly. It's so crucial too. And it's funny. It is funny. Sometimes people push back against that because, again, we've just our entire lives been conditioned to think of weight loss as this all or nothing thing. And of course, I mean, it's a whole mindset, the diet mindset, but a huge part of that all or nothing thing is this impatience and this promise of fast, instant results. And it's just a whole mindset that dooms us for failure. It really does. I mean, I've been doing this personally for over 30 years, professionally for over 20 years. And I can tell you, the dieter mindset is the core problem with your weight. If you're struggling with your weight, if you're overweight, struggling to lose it, manage it, I promise you, your mindset is a number one core issue you have to deal with. It's not a nutritional issue primarily for most people. I have rarely met someone who doesn't know that eating ice cream and pizza is going to make you overweight. And again, I'm talking in generalized terms here, but eating high calorie, hyper palatable, addictive foods is not good. If you want to weigh what you want to weigh, and eating healthier, natural foods in a more moderated way is better. Most people know this already, right? That's not the mystery. The mystery for most people weight wise is that they have no idea how to run their minds. They don't know how to stay motivated. They don't know how to stay on track. They don't know how to keep making good, healthy decisions. They do not have any clue how to deal with mistakes. They have no clue, no strategy how to get back on track. And that's some of the big issues I see. And a lot of that, again, comes directly from this diet mindset that has been literally installed into all of our brains. There's not a person in America who gets away with not thinking about weight loss through the dieting mindset, as far as I can tell. It is literally absolute brainwashing that we've all been exposed to and experienced our entire lives. It's crazy. To the point, I'll prove what I'm saying. I just want to say stuff to the point that I swear you could ask 1,000 Americans how to lose weight, and you are going to hear diet, surgery, injections. That is literally all you're going to hear. The idea of shifting your mindset, the idea of having a strategic solution to change your mindset, your lifestyle, and your eating into that of a thin, healthy person, you will never hear. You will never hear anyone say, no, my goal actually isn't to lose weight. My goal really is I want to live at my goal weight. You're not going to hear that because the diet industry, again, the diet industry is not your friend, in case you didn't know that. First of all, the diet industry is a recurring business model. So there's not much benefit to giving you some real solution, A. But even more important than that is B, that most of the big diet companies you know about, most of the big diets you reference to lose weight are all owned by the big food companies. Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Atkins Food Products owned by the same company that owns Auntie Anne's Pretzels and Cinnabon. Slim Fast owned by the same company that owns Ben & Jerry's ice cream. These companies do not want you to stop eating hyper addictive, hyper palatable processed foods. They want you to keep eating that shit. And that's why most diets really build around macros and calories, because they don't want to shine a light on the fact that, in general, processed foods, whatever degree you want to take that to, it's going to be a lot harder to manage your weight with those foods than it is natural whole foods. And so you never really get that message consistently. You don't get the message of having a comprehensive, holistic strategy to manage your weight. You just get these one-shot approaches at it. Just cut carbs, just don't eat for 16 hours, or just track your calories, or just count your points, just stop eating fat, just stop eating carbs, stop eating vegetables, just eat meat, whatever. It's always one thing. And it's always this, you're kind of winging at it. It's a Hail Mary. Hopefully this will fix it. Oh, I might just try a new supplement. Oh, there's a new berry from the rainforest. Oh, there's a new tea from the Himalayan mountains. This is going to fix it. It's always like this one thing that's going to fix our weight, when in reality, your weight is affected by a combination of factors, primarily your mindset, how you think about yourself, food, your environment, your life. So your mindset, your lifestyle, how you're living your life, right? Your daily lifestyle habits and your eating patterns. And so you need a comprehensive, holistic strategy, in my opinion, to change these things. And you've never done that. I know I can just say that completely confidently. I've been doing this. I've done over 6,000 private weight loss sessions. I've been doing this over 20 years. I know you've never had the most comprehensive thing you can do is you can sign up for basically where someone's going to bust your balls about what you're doing each week. So about the most extreme thing you can do is you can go sign up where you go see a nurse or a doctor every week and have them weigh you, and you follow a really strict, non-sustainable plan. That's about as holistic as it gets. And that's not holistic at all. It's not comprehensive. So again, in my opinion, it is really important that you take a bigger view of this. Because again, I'm not trying to put more work on you, by the way. I'm trying to put less work on you. I'm trying to make this an easier process for you that gets you better results. That's the other piece too. The fast versus slow routine. What's fast result? Is fast weight loss if you just stop eating, right? Let's say you fast for a month and you lose 30 pounds. And then the next month you start eating and you put the weight back on. Was that fast weight loss or no weight loss? You've got to start looking at it this way, because the diet industry has literally brain rotted us. They've brainwashed us, hypnotized us, conditioned us, whatever you want to call it. they have forced us to think about weight loss in this way, where every time we approach weight loss, we do it in this very highly emotional state where all you care about is losing the weight. You'll do anything you have to do to lose the weight instantly. And so you always approach your weight loss in a state of acute stress, which is the opposite state that you're ever going to get any results in. And the facts speak for themselves. Again, I mean, the fucking numbers could not be any worse. 75% of the population overweight or obese. When we live in a time where we have more access to the healthiest nutrition we've ever had in our lives, 365 days a year of beautiful fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, all this beautiful food. And yet 75% of the population is overweight or obese. We've a $65 billion a year diet industry. And no one's got any answers? Well, that's bullshit in my opinion, because I got tons of fucking answers. I really do. And I'm not going to be shy about it. I've got the most comprehensive program to live at your goal weight that exists on the planet. And I say that confidently. I've been doing this for a long time. If you know a more comprehensive program than mine, please send it to me. I will learn from it. My ego is not, I'm not saying this egotistically. I'm saying it factually from what I've seen. I don't know what plan out there is going to help you deal with your mindset, with your lifestyle, with your eating. I just don't see it, and I think that's why people are struggling. It's not because you don't have the willpower. It's not because of your self-control. That's the biggest lie the diet industry is selling you. It's not a self-control issue. You think it is, and it's not. And that is, you have to stop thinking that way. I mean, how can it be a self-control issue for 75% of the population? How can 95 to 98% of dieters that lose weight on a diet, 95 to 98% that have the control to lose the weight, put the weight back on? When you hear numbers like that, I hope it snaps you into reality and says, whoa, if 95% of people that lose weight put it back on, maybe it's not the person. Maybe it's the strategy. If something doesn't work 95% of the time, don't we start blaming the strategy at some point? Well, I hope you all start to, because it's a fool's errand to blame yourself and your willpower. It really is. What's up, Mari? Yeah, I'm saying that right. Hi, Jim. Should you keep your eating to a certain window in a day, digestion, etc.? Does it not really matter? I love that question. And I think the first answer is always the golden rule of program yourself then is there's no right or wrong. There's only what works for you. So anything I say, I will share what I've seen to be best practices, work for the most number of people. But you always have to understand that even within those general guidelines and experiences, your experience is always unique. So that's what I always say. So you can test things out using best practices, but that if it's not working for you, have the confidence to say, this doesn't work for me. And I'm going to try a different way and see, I'm going to figure out what works best for me. Okay. That being said, I'm a big believer in eating in certain windows. I'm a huge believer in structuring your eating. I will tell you, my golden rule is there's no right or wrong. There's only what works for you. My one exception to that is I've not seen anyone successfully manage their weight without structuring their eating. Is it not possible? I don't know. I've just never seen it. Okay. So I think that, in my opinion, you've got to structure your eating to some degree. I don't want you to freak out, because structuring your eating is a process, and it's one that we, again, in Program Yourself, then everything we're going to do, we're always weighing it against the effect it has on us. So in Program Yourself, then I work with people who have done carnivore and keto and all the crazy shit. And I will support them as best I can, but I never suggest those ideas. I think that those plans are very overwhelming, especially to just jump right in, like a ketosis plan, very, very overwhelming for the average person. And so I wouldn't do it. I don't want to do things that overwhelm me. I want you all to hear that too. Because I know I can hear the voice in your head that says, well, then you're not going to get the best results. Yeah, the fuck you are. And I bring it back to my favorite example of playing the piano. If you'd never played the piano and someone said, oh no, the way you play the piano quickly, fast, is you got to play 8 hours a day. Yeah, on paper, yeah. Oh yeah, okay, great. 8 hours a day, you're going to get really fast. Maybe that's what you think. But the reality of playing 8 hours a day is a totally different story. After the first day, your fingers are all cramped. You hate the piano. You can't focus. You can't concentrate. You hate it. You're tired of sitting there. Your back hurts. And getting yourself to keep doing it's really, really hard. So yeah, on a theoretical level, playing 8 hours, playing 20 hours a day. Yeah, of course. Great. Sure. That's the best. But in the real world of having a human body and being a human, no, that's not the best thing, because you're going to quit. That's a great strategy to quit. And the dieting is the same thing. You're jumping in so fast, so quickly, so fully that you're overwhelming yourself. And this is why you can't get yourself to start now. It's one of the reasons. But 90% of you probably are overweight, want to lose weight, and think about losing weight all day, all night long, every day, constantly think about losing weight, but you never get yourself to actually do anything. That's probably the vast majority of you. Now, is that because you're a bad, lazy person who has no self-control? I do not think that. I think the primary reason you're not doing a plan is because your brain's trying to protect you. Your brain now associates dieting with failure. If you're in your 40s, you have dieted so many times and it's been so hard, so difficult, and it hasn't fucking worked. That's the main thing. You lost weight a couple times, you put it back on. And now your subconscious associates failure and pain to dieting and losing weight. And so now to get yourself to start anything almost feels impossible. So again, you've got this negative association to it. And then on top of that, the plan's really hard. You can tell me all the plans are hard, by the way. Every fucking diet is equally hard. How about that? Because completely changing your eating in one day is really hard. So I don't care if you want to be vegetarian, carnivore, keto, intermittent fasting, Weight Watchers. It doesn't matter. Pick any diet you can think of. They're all equally hard because day one, you're planning on doing 100% until you reach your goal weight. It's overwhelming. It is really stressful. So again, in Program Yourself Thin, we're not about this. We're not trying to change everything in one day. We're trying to change things for the rest of your life. So there's no rush. It's a never-ending marathon. I thought of this metaphor yesterday. The diet industry has trained you to approach your weight loss metaphorically like this. Imagine you were running a marathon, but you trained and prepared and were expecting to run a sprint. That is probably the best example I can give you. Like imagine you're going to do a race, but no one's told you what the race is, and you've been led to believe it's a sprint. But you get there and it's a marathon. But you don't even know that. And so you run and you start sprinting. How are you going to do in the race? Terrible. Like if you don't change your mindset, you walk into that marathon, you got a sprinter's mindset and you don't change it. Fuck it. I've been sprinting for 30 years. I'm going to sprint here too. Of course I'm going to win. I'm going to run faster than all these jamokes. These jamokes they're taking their time slow. I'm going to beat them all. Yeah, for the first, quarter mile? Then what happens? I mean, it's not rocket science. It's literally hypnosis. And so the whole society has been hypnotized to think like dieters. So we don't think of it as being wrong anymore because everyone's doing it. So it's normalized. But it would literally be like a person going to a marathon and running like a sprinter. And you would look at that. What is that a smart strategy? And you say, no, that you're not going to be able to last. And the sprinter says, yeah, but look how I'm fucking smoking them. I'm smoking them for the first part of the race. I'm killing these people. But what about the rest of the race? And you dieters, it's like that. It's like you're not looking at the rest of the race. You're only looking at the first. You're looking. The marathon's this long, but you're looking at the first part where you're winning, but then you quit because you can't even move anymore. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Every day I'm looking for ways to explain this. And it's not that you're not stupid. It's not like I have to come up with a simpleton explanation. It's that you're brainwashed. Don't be offended. You've literally been brainwashed. Think about this. We have all been exposed to millions of diet ads in our lives. It's crazy. I mean, dieting's been around for 100 years, and it is just the number one way people think about weight loss. And so you think like a dieter. And so to get out of that mindset, it's harder than it seems. It's not just a logical thing. It's literally hypnosis. I don't want to explain hypnosis right now, but hypnosis is not a logical thing. And you're in a mindset of a dieter. And so it's not that you're not super smart. As a matter of fact, by the way, if you're listening to me now, I already know you're smart. I know you're an overthinker. I know you're on the perfectionist scale. I know you're a type A-ish sort of person. I know you're action oriented. I know you because I know the only people that listen to me are people like that. I've been doing this for a while. You start to recognize things. And I know for you, almost like one of the worst parts of the weight is the torture. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Because you look at other areas of your life Like you did well in school, you did well in personal stuff, you do well professionally. You thrive in all these areas of your life because you're an action-oriented, focused, motivated, ambitious, will-powered person, right? And you have all these areas of your life and you're doing well and you're doing all that stuff. But then there's the weight. And you are obsessed with the thought, what the fuck is wrong with me over here? How come I can't lose the weight? I do all this stuff here. Why can't I lose the weight? I know you think that stuff. And that is because the diet thing, it basically unplugs your intelligence when it comes to weight loss. I'm just going to say it straight out. I'm going to challenge you. If you get a little mad at this, fine. But you're acting like a dipshit when it comes to losing weight, is what I'm telling to you. You've been hypnotized to act like a dipshit when it comes to losing weight. And you're way too smart for that. And so you're not only suffering the effects of the extra weight and all the stuff that brings, but more importantly for you, if you're this person I'm talking about, if you are this overthinker, this perfectionist, this type A type person, almost like the bigger effect is the mental torture of trying to figure out why you can't figure this part of your life out. If you're like most of my clients, you're obsessed with that. You think about it constantly. And there is no answer. The answer is because you've been hypnotized. You've been literally entranced to think like a dipshit when it comes to your weight. And so it's my mission to get on here every day and just point obvious things out, because it's not a self-control willpower problem primarily. It is primarily a lack of knowledge. You have no idea what you're doing. Right down to your goal. Your goal is, I just want to lose weight. I know, I can hear you saying that. I can hear your thoughts. Your thoughts are, I just want to lose the weight. Okay, Jim, great. Yeah, sure. Okay, Jim. Yeah. I just want to lose weight. I just want to lose weight. I just want to lose weight. I know that's the core mantra you think in your mind. I know you think about that a million times a day. I just want to lose weight. 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 You don't just want to lose weight, though. That's the problem. This is what entrancement feels like. You're so wrapped up with an idea that you believe so firmly that's not even true. You don't just want to lose weight. Don't believe me? I bet you've lost weight. I bet you've lost weight and put it back on. Are you happy that you just lost the weight? Or are you pissed that you put it back on? So the real goal is not to lose weight. The real goal is that you want to live at your goal weight for the rest of your life on near autopilot. Feel that for a second. That's really what you want. Don't think this is just semantics. These are two totally different goals we're talking about. And you have been raised to fixate and focus on just losing weight. Short term, I'll lose as quick as I can. And that is the beginning of all the problems you're experiencing weight-wise. So it's a completely different thing when you say, I want to live at my goal weight. I want to live the rest of my life at my goal weight. On near autopilot too. I don't want to fucking be obsessed with this. I just want to live my life and I want to live it at my goal weight. Totally different goal. So hopefully that resonates. What's up, Jody? Jody says, I've lost 95 pounds in the last 19 months. I want to live at my goal weight. Nice. Maintaining since 11/24. Great job, Jody. Congratulations. Super proud of you. 95 pounds. Holy moly, right? And again, my two favorite things, that's a good amount of weight for sure. And you've been doing it over 19 months. Wonderful job. And you got a great focus. I want to live at my goal weight. And you've been maintaining for what? You're going on 6-7 months now. Great job. Great job. Great focus. That's awesome. Let's keep it up. Mari says, to find out what weight is best for us, don't we just Google that? Height, age, if not, how? Oh, Mari. If only it was that easy. This is literally why I created a goal weight quiz and training that I give away for free too, by the way. So again, if you're not in my world, I don't know. I mean, this is my mission in life, is to help people live at their goal weight. And I do this every day for free. I give you more free stuff than anyone. And that's just one of the things I give away for free, is to help you choose the right goal weight. I bet most of you are choosing the wrong goal weight. No, you can't just Google it. This is what I'm saying. We've never been taught how to choose our goal weight. We've just kind of been given our goal weight. What do I mean by that? Let's be honest. How are you going to choose your goal weight, folks? Let's be honest. You're going to go to the BMI chart ultimately. That's it. All goes back to that. So you're not really choosing your goal weight. You're just picking a goal weight that someone told you is the right one for you. That's a different thing. Right? So choosing the right goal weight, in my opinion, is one of the most important. That's why the entire program starts with choosing the right goal weight. Most of you are probably choosing the wrong goal weight. How do I know this? Well, I've been doing this for a long time. And not only have I been doing this for a long time, more recently is I do high-end coaching. It's $25,000 to work with me privately for 12 weeks. And you have to assume that people that can pay that kind of money are very intelligent, successful, driven, focused, motivated, all those things. And they are. And every time I ask them, I say, what's your goal weight? Why'd you choose that weight? And every single time, without exception, I get answers like, well, that's what I weighed when I was 22. That's what I weighed when I got married. That's what I weighed when I lost 50 pounds of Weight Watchers. That's the lowest weight I ever been as an adult. They don't have any real good reasons why. Those aren't good reasons, by the way. So yes, choosing the right goal weight. I will tell you this. Thin is a word I use to mean living at your goal weight. So I just want to make that clear. I don't use the word thin to mean some BMI chart, specific black and white number. It's a concept to me. Thin is an attitude. It's a concept of living at your goal weight. Now the question becomes, well, what's your goal weight? How do I figure that out? Well, I wish I could just give you a chart, but I can't. BMI chart, by the way, was created. Now I like the BMI chart. I think it's a reference point. But BMI chart was based on, I forget what country it was, but it was some Nordic country. They tracked all white men and they made that out. So that was the initial focus of that chart. It's not representative to women. It's not representative to people of color. So it's not an end all be all chart. And most importantly, you really ought to choose the goal weight. In my opinion, just simple explanation of it is your goal weight is the weight that gives you the best quality of life. Now, this is where things get interesting. Because what if you choose a weight you weigh? Now listen, you guys think I'm crazy when I say this, but what if your goal weight is a weight when you weighed when you were 19? And they say, oh my God, who's going to do that? The record goes to someone, their goal weight, they told me, and I said, when's the last time you weighed that? And they go, when I was 12 years old. Anyways, we can get kind of lost in the sauce sometimes, what my point is. But so someone picks a goal weight as when I was 19. That's the weight I want to be at. That's why, because I was 19 and that's what I weighed. Whatever. Okay. Not a lot of reasoning there, but fine. That's what we'll go with. But now let's just say in order for you to live at that weight now, you would have to drastically live eating way less calories, doing a lot of stuff to maintain that weight. You had to be really clean with your eating, really manage your calories. You had to live a really, really strict lifestyle in order to live at that weight. Is that the best quality of life though? See, this is where things get interesting. The weight of itself doesn't, the weight's a means to an end. So if in order to get to your goal weight, you have to eat carrots and drink water all day to live at the goal weight you said you picked, why is that your goal weight? Because that's not a good quality of life. Do you understand? What you have to do to achieve that weight reduces your quality of life, even though you're X amount of number of pounds. This is so important for you all to wrap your head around because this is the core reason why you're not living your goal weight. You don't even want to live at your goal weight. I said it. I said what I said. Most people are walking around with a goal weight they're not willing to live at. Don't blame me. It's not my fault. I don't know what to tell you, but we can't just pick a number because I want to be a billionaire. Okay, you got to work a real lot. Well, I don't want to work a lot. I just want to be a billionaire. And so a lot of people are picking a weight that doesn't have the meaning for them. And they don't take into account how they have to live in order to achieve the weight. That's the part that makes me crazy. This is the diet hypnosis. This is the diet dementia that happens where keto, you want to live your life being in ketosis for the rest of your life? You don't. That's why no one sticks with it. It's miserable. Even if your weight's lower, it's a miserable way of living and you're not going to do it. That's why you haven't stuck to the plans. You don't like sticking to the plans because they lower your quality of life, even though you're fucking losing weight. Can you believe it's possible that your quality of life would go down even when you're losing weight? And a lot of people can't, but it's true. If your quality of life didn't go down, why would you stop sticking to your plan? You want to be thinner, don't you? But it's because your quality of life's going down. You don't like living this way. That's why you stop your weight loss plans. So anyways, how do you choose your goal weight? The goal weight is the weight that gives you the best quality of life. Now, I'll give you an example of what I mean too, because once you start looking at it this way, you realize your goal weight really is changeable. It's not this fixed point on a chart. It's changeable. So I lost 50 pounds over 30 years ago and I maintained that weight for 30 years, but I had one blip 13 years ago And that blip happened when I moved into a new house that we completely redid. I'm running a business and I had a new child, I had a new baby, and he didn't sleep well. And so all these stresses come on all at once. And I started eating shitty. I put 25 pounds on a couple months. And so I was like, well, I don't want to be 25. That's too much. And I started to know there's negative effects happening. I'm going to take 15 off and I'm going to raise my goal weight by 10 pounds for right now. God forbid we raise our goal weight. You know what I mean? But again, when you start looking at your goal weight with more context and understanding, it allows you to see this, that your goal weight kind of is a living, breathing thing. And my goal weight has, again, I brought it down again because things have chilled out and whatever. But the goal weight thing, really, I think we put way too much meaning on the goal weight. The goal weight's a means to an end, like money. Okay. Money's a means to an end. It's not the money that makes you happy. It's what you do with the money. Okay. It's not the weight itself. If you're starving yourself to be a certain weight, it's what's the point? And I think we don't really look at this holistically. And when you start looking at it holistically, it's magical. That's why it's the first thing I do. I literally give it away. I think it's so important. I think having a goal weight that really means something to you emotionally, where you start to say, now I will tell you, we take weight loss and rapid and personal development. So it reframes the goal weight question a little bit in the way that instead of saying, what weight do I want to be at? And Program Yourself, then we'll say, who do I want to be? So we kind of elevate it from your weight to who you want to be in your life. You get one shot at living, as far as we know. Who do you want to live your life as? What's the best version of you? The best relationships, the best work, the best adventures, whatever's important to you in your life, you operating your best. What's that look like? Describe that, define it, connect to it, and then ask the question, what weight do I need to be at to make all this happen? But you see the difference? We've wrapped the weight within the context of something bigger. You living an amazing, awesome life. Right now, subconsciously, when you think about losing weight, you think of being less than. You think about being miserable, deprived, bored, stressed, frustrated. So you actually associate weight loss to negative stuff at this point. So again, if you're not in my world, please click the link because I'm going to send out. Well, actually, you know what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this quickly the next couple of days. Is I use this thing called Circle. It's an app. It's a community app. So it's Program Yourself. Then and I deliver the program through there as well. But I'm opening up a free part of that. So even if you're not in my programs, you can get in there. And I'm going to put a bunch of stuff in there. It's just an easy way to access a lot of cool stuff. And I'm going to get that going probably this week here because it's pretty easy. I'll just add stuff to it. But you'll see some things in already. And I'll put the goal weight quiz right in there for you. I got a hypnosis session for you. I got a training for you. I got a lot of cool stuff. I might do a training too. I did a training yesterday and I thought it was so important. I might give you that one too. It was called, it was for my Thrive program, but it was a feeling proud workshop. And I thought that was really interesting too. Cause there's another piece of just one more piece of the puzzle that most people really struggle to feel proud and good about the accomplishments they've made because we've been trained not to feel proud. You know, so that feeling proud workshop I thought was so important. People really liked it. I got really good feedback on it. And I think that's another one that's so important. I might just give you all that too. But I got a bunch of free stuff I want to give you all, you know, so anyways, Ann says, love the calorie density points you've made. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. Calorie density. If you don't know about calorie density, I don't even know what you're doing. You know, again, oh my God, you know what everyone says, you know what every client says to me, you know what I hear the most? They go, I wish I knew about this earlier. They always say that. And I know, I get it, you know, because again, your weight loss it's not a willpower, self-control. That's not the main problem you have. I know you think it is. You think you know what to do and you just need to get yourself to do it. You couldn't be further from the truth. You couldn't be further away from the truth. You'd have no idea. You know, again, in Program Yourself, then, for example, right, we've got the goal weight blueprints where it break down how to change your mindset, your lifestyle, and your eating and to be the thin, healthy you. It's a roadmap you follow and it's all customized to you. But it's like, how would you on your own? I guess the first question is if you think mindset, lifestyle, and eating patterns are important or not. But assuming you do, how would you change your mindset to that of a thin, healthy person? How would you strategically change your lifestyle to that of a thin, healthy person? How would you structure your eating strategically to that of a thin, healthy person? And I think those questions quickly reveal that you have no answers. You have no answers. They're all versions of I would just do the right thing, which isn't an answer. And so again, my point to you is that the main reason you've struggled with your weight is because there's a complete and total lack of knowledge of how to become a thin and healthy person. And so again, I even in the training I give you for free, you learn more about that. So it's all there if you want it. Molly T is Jen T. Oh, what's up, Jen? Okay, different name. Glad to catch you live. Been wanting to tell you about a story I saw with increased gastric bowel related cancers in Gen X and younger. It's the processed foods. The story didn't say that, but we know. Oh yeah, for sure. Of course it is. I mean, our eating's, millions of years of eating on this planet one way changed in the last really 50 years. It's really, it's so big you can't see it, you know what I mean? But like the way we've changed our eating, over the last 50 years, we've changed it more in the last 50 years than ever in history. Like it's bigger than all of a sudden cooking our food. We're eating these foods that aren't even foods anymore. And the weird thing is too, they focus you on calories very intentionally because they don't want you to think about nutrients. But one of the big things that really bothers me about processed foods, and there's a million things that bother me about processed foods. I still eat them. Okay. I eat them sometimes, but I eat less and less of them because I think this way. But the core issue with processed foods is the lack of diversity you're getting, right? I forget the exact number, but most processed foods are made with wheat, soy, rice, tofu, and meat. Soy, and meat. And so you're getting the same ingredients. What most of the processed food industry does is that it makes all the ingredients so that they're interchangeable. But most of those ingredients are really based out of like 4 or 5 different main food groups. And not in food groups, they're ingredients, right? Again, wheat, soy, corn. Did I say corn? Meat, whatever. So you're getting a very minimal amount of diversity in nutrients, and you're getting very few micronutrients because again, the process of processing industrially is really stripping these products down to their core components, because then you can use them interchangeably in a lot of different things. And so your bodies are not getting the nutrient diversity or density that they require. It's like watering your gas down. It's not good for your body. And as you start to add more healthier, whole, natural foods into your diet, it's transformative beyond just the weight loss. It's transformative to the system, because you're putting a way higher quality fuel in it. And that affects everything: your thinking, your clarity, your ability to act right, your energy, your comfort, your strength, all of these things, Yeah, the processed foods though. What's up, Jody? Jody says, every day I wish I found you earlier, changed my life, but the rest of my life I will live with the ideal me. Yeah. Again, Jody's a superstar. I mean, she's just like killing it in the program. So it's, people always tell me that. That's why I say to you, you don't have to get the program. I'm not even saying that, but I give you so much free stuff. Like, why do you want to keep, you're just in a dark room blindfolded. You have no idea what you're doing when it comes to weight loss. Just admit it. Christ, there's nothing wrong with admitting that. It doesn't mean you're dumb. It just means that you've been surrounded by this bullshit narrative of dieting, and it's hard to see out of it. I've dedicated my whole life to it, like literally over 30 years, just intentionally working to get out of the diet mindset, trying to figure out, my health, my weight, my lifestyle, my habits, my mindset, obsessed. And that's why I share this all with you. Because to me, I always say this is a mission for me to help as many people as possible with their goal weight. It's not because I want you to wear bathing suits. You want to wear bathing suits to the beach? Knock yourselves out. But it's a way deeper reason. My father died when he was 54 of a heart attack. So when I say this is my mission, it's because I want you to live as long as you can. And I want you to have the best quality life while you're here. And I think a fundamental piece of that is eating the right foods, living the right way, thinking the right stuff. And I think it's so important. And that's why I do this every day. But again, my values are way higher than just losing weight. And I think yours should be too. We got to elevate this. That gets back to even the right goal weight. It's making it just more important than a number on a scale. Again, I'm telling you here, and you won't believe this to me, but you all weigh what you want. Your first primary goal after you choose a goal weight is to get motivated, because you're all not motivated. I've never met a genuinely motivated person who doesn't lose weight. If you're not losing weight, it's because you're not motivated. I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's a very important pill to swallow, because once you realize that, then you can focus on actually getting motivated. You think in the program, we talk about your motivation being like the engine of the car, and you are driving a car around with a lawnmower engine in it. And, like that's a big part of it. Now your strategy sucks too. So don't get me wrong. I mean, you've no strategy. You got this crazy diet strategy. So that's not good either. But the core problem you have right now, right as we sit here listening to this, is that you're not really motivated to lose weight, which isn't to say you don't want to lose weight. You do want to lose weight, but you want to keep eating the way you're eating and living the way you're living more than you want to lose weight. Then tell me that's not true. Again, I understand it hurts to hear that, but, hearing hard things sometimes is really important. A Lawson Banner says everything you're saying makes complete sense. Brainwashing. Yes, absolutely. We've all been brainwashed by the diet industry, and we have to fight back because they're killing us. The diet industry, you have to understand the diet industry is the food industry, and a bit of the beauty industry. But they're all, the best way to see the food industry, they're all related. So again, you have to kind of do all this as a whole. But the food industry you should look at is the cigarette industry, because they're literally one and the same, just so you know. Nabisco and RJR Reynolds are merged together, the same company. Okay. The parent company of General Foods and Kraft is Philip Morris. So literally the cigarette companies in the late 70s, early 80s divested from cigarettes, went into food, brought the exact same philosophy to make the most addictive product possible, use the most aggressive marketing they possibly could, and then sit on the science of how bad it was for you as much as they could. So literally all the food companies are the cigarette companies, and they should be looked at as such. They are there to make money, and they don't give a fuck if you die from it. They don't care. They don't want to kill you, I don't think, but they don't mind if you die in the process of them making more money. And that's just the reality as far as I see it, And so it's a war in that sense. Like it's literally a war because you have these multi-billion-dollar companies aiming their sights on us, doing everything everything they possibly can to get us to overconsume these foods and to confuse us on the other side. It's cynical. It's crazy. Anyways. User 92, you're saying such truths. Thank you. User 92 says, how do I deal with my mindset? Been overweight 100 kilograms for years. Yeah, I mean, how do you deal with your mindset? It's the same for all of us, but the first thing is, now I just want to say, before I say this, I want to point out, because I've been obsessed with mindset for over 30 years. I mean, and when I say obsessed with mindset, I mean, like I'm certified yoga instructor, master hypnotist, NLP trainer, strategic coach. I read 50 books a year. Like I am obsessed. I'm 6,000 private weight loss sessions. I mean, I'm obsessed with mindset. That being said, I think there's not a lot of great mindset training out there, to be completely honest. I mean, the queen of mindset is Carol Dweck, and she's great. I love what she writes, but to me, it's like kindergarten of mindset. And I don't mind saying that. If people celebrate her, I love it. She's the fixed growth mindset lady. Love that stuff. Okay. But it's like, that's one little drop in the bucket of mindset in my world. Okay. So that being said, how do I deal with mindset? I think the first step is how you conceptualize it. And I think you understand, I can't just change your mindset. You know what I mean? Like, I think you have to look at changing and influencing your mindset like learning something. And so if you're never played the piano and you want to become a piano player, we could describe it as I'm developing a piano mindset. Now, we never say that, but you could think of it that way. And what you would do to create a piano mindset is you would study the piano. You would practice the piano, right? Maybe you take lessons. Maybe you read books about it. Maybe you'd sit up the piano and practice things. You'd learn songs. You'd interface with it. Expose yourself to it. You'd learn ideas. You'd learn values. You'd learn little tricks. You'd learn about the keyboard. You'd learn songs. You'd get muscle memory. And you would start putting all this stuff together. So it's not just like one thing. That's the important piece. When you learned how to read and write, you developed the mindset of a reader and writer. But if you reflect back on that process, it wasn't one thing. It was really a commitment to a process that brought you to a destination. But there's no one thing you did, right? It was this consistent little thing over little thing over little thing over little thing over thing stacked up. All big accomplishments are the accumulation of small accomplishments, right? So I think it's really important that when we think of mindset, we look at it that way, because I think mindset, a lot of times we simplify it to explain it. So how do you deal with mindset? I will tell you, because I think of mindset and changing your mindset, I think of it as a learning process. And there's a lot of ways to learn. So again, if we go back to the piano, you might talk to a teacher and learn concepts. You might read a book, learn concepts, watch video, learn concepts. And then there's the actual practicing where you're putting it into your body. And Program Yourself Thin is built exactly on this model. So there are a couple different ways to influence your mindset. You learn concepts and ideas. You go through the blueprints and answer questions and customize those questions and ideas to your situation, to who you are. You practice being a thin, healthy person, just like you'd be at the piano practicing. You practice being a thin, healthy person with the Program Yourself Thin technique. It's a self-hypnosis technique, takes 60 seconds. You program your subconscious mind to be a thin and healthy person. You need to practice thinking, living, and eating like a thin, healthy person, folks. The idea that you're just going to wake up one magical Monday and then just act like a thin, healthy person from that point forward makes no sense. You don't have the neural networks. You don't have the muscle memory. You don't have the thought conceptual patterns in your mind. They don't exist there. Think about being a thin, healthy person. How would you be a thin, healthy person for the rest of your life? And I want you to notice that experience you just had is very similar to the one, if I ask you, what's the Chinese word for ball? Notice how there's nothing there. Your brain just like, well, it's the same thing when I say, how do you be a thin, healthy person? Notice how there's nothing there. And this is because you've never learned it. You've never learned it. So this idea that one Monday you're going to wake up and just magically be something you've never learned would be the equivalent of saying, well, tomorrow's Monday, so I'm just going to start playing the piano. You're not. You have to learn it. And you have to learn how to be a thin, healthy person. So that's how you start to approach your mindset. It's not a trick. I could tell you, you don't have the mindset of a thin, healthy person right now, folks. Just like if you don't speak Chinese, you don't have the mindset of a Chinese speaker. So how would you create the mindset of a Chinese speaker? You'd learn how to speak Chinese. And there's a lot of ways to do that, but that's the process. And when it comes to weight loss, you don't think of it at all like that. At all. You think about weight loss like I already know how to do it and I just got to get myself to do it. That's not true. You don't know how to do it. You have to learn something. You're learning something that you're going to be able to do, but you don't know how to do it. That's how you know all you dieters are literally fucking entranced, because you all tell me, Jim, I don't know. I guess what you're saying makes sense, but no, I already know what I need to do. I just need to get myself to do it. How many times I've heard that? It ain't that easy because you don't know what to do. You don't really. So anyways, what I would say though, how do I deal with my mindset is the best chance in hell you have. I mean, folks, to be honest, I'll just be completely honest. In my world, you don't have to believe me, obviously, but I think I am your best chance on the planet Earth for you ever having a chance of living at your goal weight for the rest of your life. I think I'm your best chance. I'm not going to say your only chance, but I think I'm 1000% your best chance. So if you care even a bit about your weight and you're even 1% serious, click the link in my bio or go to Program Yourself Thin, get the free hypnosis session, use all the stuff I give you. I give you a bunch of free shit. If you like it, join the program. If you don't, who gives a shit? You're no worse off. You'll know some more stuff. You can't be any worse off than you are now with your weight. I mean, no offense, but right? I mean, what? Just Jay just asked Jody. I just asked you a question, Jody. I don't know if you could see those written messages, but she said, Jody, how much weight have you lost since joining? Well, I know Jody's story. I'll answer it a little bit anyways, but I forget how much weight load Jody's lost. Jody wasn't, by the way, I would say, I don't know, 30% of my customers, clients come in the program are probably only within 15 pounds of their goal weight, which that's a surprise to a lot of people. But you have to understand weight's a relative thing. So someone who's 10 pounds overweight from their goal weight, sometimes they can feel as bad about their weight as someone who's 100 pounds overweight. It may make no sense to you. It doesn't have to. I'm telling you the truth. But Jody didn't have a ton of weight to lose, but she was always struggling with getting to her goal weight. She was on the diet gain cycle, and now she's been even Steven. What's up, Heather? Heather says, it's the art of breaking habits. For me, sitting at laptop, it's redirecting that mind from meaningless snacking. They say people learn different habits, good or bad, after a set time. I disagree. It's individual, or why we regain after many months. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I will tell you, most of the habit stuff out there is complete bullshit. I mean, what's the habit thing I grew up with? 28 days and you got a habit. That's bullshit. I've done stuff for 28 days and it stopped the 29th day. So I do not believe that one. Everything's unique. Our path is always our own path, and how long it takes to install a habit, even with me, one habit might install in a couple of weeks. One habit might take a couple months or a couple of years. It's just, there's no simple answer with the habits. But that being said, habits to me, yes, absolutely are a cornerstone of the whole program, which brings up another point. I'll bring this one up too, because habits is one of the sections in the mindset section. Is broken into 6 parts. There's motivation, how to motivate yourself. There's self-image, how to think of yourself as a thin, healthy person, how to define yourself and shift your identity. Third is habits, right? How do you strategically manage your habits? Again, most people have no idea how to manage their habits strategically. They're just trying to force themselves to act a certain way through willpower. And so again, you need to strategically understand your habits, and that makes it better. Emotions, how to deal with your emotions, maintenance, and thinking, and then maintenance. So we break mindset down into those sections, and we answer questions so that you have a blueprint, you have a plan, for how to deal with those things. Because of course, your habits are ultimately what are in control of your weight. So I do agree with that 1,000%. But you got to really, I think, have a strategic plan for how you're going to deal with your habits too. I don't think you just fight your habits head on. If you understand habits at all, that just doesn't make any sense neuroscientifically. Yeah, Mustafa says diet doesn't equal lifestyle change. That's what I believe that makes. Or does it say diet and lifestyle change? I'm not sure exactly what that means, Mustafa. But you certainly need both of them. Cam Pol Toka, what's up? Says very powerful words. Live at your goal weight. This is one of my main mantras. Yeah, super. That's one of the best mantras there is. Program yourself thin is all about living at your goal weight. I would say, I don't even know. I changed my languaging a little bit because there was someone, I'm sure they didn't know about my stuff, but it was a hypnosis program that started marketing themselves as a weight mastery program. And I made the shift over to it's a goal weight system. So you can live at your goal weight. Very clear and specific. That's why you get the goal weight blueprints, the goal weight hypnosis, the program yourself thin technique, all designed to help you live at your goal weight. But it is a comprehensive, systematic approach, but it's all in service of living at your goal weight for the rest of your life on near autopilot. That's the claim I'm making. And I don't make it, listen, I'm not just some shyster just selling some shit, saying some cool slogan and disappearing. I'm here every single day. So when I say that my goal, if you get the program, is to help you live at your goal weight for the rest of your life on your autopilot, I know that's a big claim, and I deliver on it. I see the proof every single day with the people I work with. So again, I don't make this claim. I'm not on my heels making it nervously. I'm not making this claim getting ready to leave town tomorrow. I make this claim because I've been making this claim for years, because I have a system that helps you do it. It's not rocket science, it's not rocket science, but it does require you to kind of free your mind a little bit from the diet mindset, I would say. So, yeah. I like this. Yeah. Micah says, this is a smart guy. Well, thank you. Yeah. So this is so motivational. I'm happy. That's my point. I wanted to be motivational. But I always like Tony Robbins always says, he's never leave the scene of setting a goal without taking an action. And it's the same thing with motivation. When you feel a high level of motivation, take some action, do something where you're anchored in this motivation, you're feeling this, and now throw that anchor out and attach yourself to something. Okay. And, use that motivation to make a future commitment and way of being. So, but I'm glad it's motivating for you. And honestly, it's just inspirational. That makes me happy too. I'm really glad. Motivation and inspiration is what I'm looking to do here on these podcasts, and educational, because I want to help you all see things more clearly. And that's what I think. That's my mission in life. You know what I mean? That's what I do. Again, it's not rocket science, but it is a different point of view. And I think sometimes that's where the biggest breakthroughs come from. Because I think and that's what I share here. Obviously the program's got a lot of specifics you go through, but even on the podcast, you can start thinking differently, primarily from, I don't want to lose weight. I want to live at my goal weight. That's one of the biggest ones. Once you can shift that mindset, when you get these big mindset shifts, a lot of the dieting philosophy just falls apart. It just doesn't work. So, yeah. So Jody's story specifically is this last time, 55 pounds, but I found gym at my last 15. And now I've maintained for first time for a year in my entire life. No, absolutely no anxiety around food. Surprised my relationship. Amazing. Yeah. So again, it's just funny. because it's, that's what that's the hardest part. We all have our own mental, emotional immune system, but a lot of times it does a disservice, I would say, because it's like, oh no, you're doing everything right. You're doing everything right. You're doing everything right. But we're not. If you're not getting, if you're overweight, if you're struggling to lose it, if you're struggling to stay at the weight you want to be at, I always look at things like that, like I'm just missing something. It's again, in NLP, there's a presupposition. We have our kind of like our commandments in a way, but one of them is if something's not working, do something else. And that's one of the biggest tricks of having a human brain, is that once we approach something in one way, we get so locked into it. So that's the biggest challenge you all have as dieters, is letting go of that diet mentality. Because once you do, like, a new world literally opens up to you. It is not hard to live at your goal weight. It's really not. It's not easy. Like, it takes effort, it takes work. But if you do it strategically and systematically, it's not hard, because you start feeling better instantly and you just keep feeling better. Like, think about this for a second, because I make this point just as I'm always trying to explain the difference between program yourself thin and diets. But here's my favorite example. And I remember this happened. I don't remember this was, but someone, I was doing a webinar, and I was offering the program, and someone's like, I want to sign up for it now, but I got friends coming this weekend. It was a long weekend. And she goes, oh my God, do I have to start a strict meal plan tomorrow on Friday? And I was like, no, there is no strict meal plan. You'll start tomorrow with a 5-minute hypnosis session. Why? Because that's bite size. It's relatively simple. You can wake up tomorrow and listen to a 5-minute session. And if you do that, what happens is, now for the first time, for most of you, this will be the first time in years where you've actually relaxed. Now you start your day relaxed, calm, centered, grounded, thinking clearly, breathing, and you're getting good stuff put in your head. So you're starting to think about what you want, how you want to feel, from a place of feeling good. And just that 5 minutes could start to nudge you during the day to make healthier choices, right? But it's easy, comfortable. Then you come home at night and you listen to your 10-minute session, right? That's the deep one, where you the deeper stuff's going on. And there's one where it has a count out, and one where you just go to sleep right after. But either way, you're bookending your day with some relaxation and some calm. You can't tell me that you all wouldn't benefit from some more relaxation and calm. I mean, listen, we're all up to here with stress and anxiety and tension. That is not a place to make changes in your life from. So again, in Program Yourself Thin, the goal, the bullseye, is always feeling better. And you know how easy it is to feel better? That's the part I say so much. I'm like, it is so easy. It is so easy to feel better. Like, it's hard to feel perfect, but it's so easy to feel better. You could feel better right now if you just relaxed your shoulders and your chest and your stomach and your face. And if you took a deep breath and slowly let it out, you can't tell me you don't feel better, right? Go drink a little bit of water, right? Go take a nap, close your eyes for 2 minutes, right? I mean, there are just so many ways to feel better. Go eat an apple. And so, again, with dieting, you do all this to feel better in 6 months. Bullshit. You can feel better instantly. And once you start to feel better, it's transformative. And once you start to feel better, it's easier to take the right actions moving forward, and then when you start to learn the system on top of it, you comfortably work your way through it. It's always about being comfortable. If we're feeling stressed out, we'll pull back a little bit. What's the rush? Let's feel better now. Let's build on that. I don't know. I mean, it just sounds so obvious to me, but it's, I don't know. Amy says, give me motivation to stay on my water fast today, please. Well, you asked the wrong question to the wrong guy. I break that water fast as soon as you can, because who gives a shit if you stay on that water fast for today and quit tomorrow, or quit today and don't do it tomorrow either? Who gives a shit? Water fasting is really the exact opposite thing of what I'm talking about, because whatever weight you lose on your water fast, you're going to put back on as soon as you start eating. And guess what I know about you, Amy? You're going to start eating. We all start eating at some point. So, again, the water fast is that perfect example. There's nothing that defines what I was talking about earlier about the marathon and the sprinter, right? So again, imagine you go to the Boston Marathon and you are a sprinter though, and you've been a sprinter all your life. You ran track in school and even went to college. You were a sprinter. You were an Olympic sprinter. How about that? You were a gold medal winner. You're a sprinter. You're the Usain Bolt. Okay, here it goes. Real time. I'm making this up. You're Usain Bolt. And you go to the Boston Marathon and you hear the gun go off and you sprint for, I don't even know what, a quarter mile, and you're out of steam. That's what water fasting is. You're saying don't sprint, man. This isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Yeah, I think I know. I got a gold medal in sprinting, so thanks. Think I'll be all right. And he's like, and then he gets to that part, he can't run anymore. So look how far ahead I am of everyone. Yeah, but now you're completely gassed and you can't run anymore. And now you don't finish the race. That to me is water fasting in a nutshell. It's sprinting in a marathon. So I don't know if that's the motivation you were looking for. I imagine it wasn't. But hey, I will never bullshit you all. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe water fasting is great, but I don't think it is. And now again, is it or isn't it not? Well, it all depends on what your goal is, right? If your goal is, if you got a wedding to go to and you just want to be the thinnest you can possibly be for that wedding at the end of the month, then water fast. Go ahead. Because your goal is to lose weight for that thing that's 3 weeks away. Then great, diet yourself right down to that weight as low as you can. But if you want to live at your goal weight, then water fasting is a horrible strategy. Water fasting is as horrible of a strategy for living at your goal weight as sprinting is in a marathon. So, what's up, Janelle? Janelle says, my hubby has lost 150 pounds and he's consistent with his goals. That's great. It's good to have someone like that. Don't get jealous of them, though. Sometimes people do things good and we get jealous of them. We get mad at them. So learn from them, right? You must have some secrets. That's quite an accomplishment. 150 pounds. Wonderful. So Merle. Merle says, hi there. Are you doing also one-on-one coaching? I do one-on-one coaching occasionally. I dialed that down a little, but be known, my one-on-one coaching is $25,000 for 12 weeks. So if you're interested in that, shoot me a message and I'll get you the information and we can go explore that. But for most people, the real answer is to get in my group coaching program. And I haven't really been promoting that much, but if you're interested in that, you can shoot me an email too, jim@programyourselfthin.com, or message me here. That's considerably more affordable. But you get tremendous value. It's very, very reasonable. And you get to work directly with me. So that's usually what works for people if they're looking for coaching. And again, I can't recommend that enough. That's the most value I can offer you. Sunny days, changing habits is hard. Yeah, of course. It's always hard. But again, it can be made way easier if you understand the structure of habits and you have a strategic approach to it. So granted, changing habits can be hard, but again, the more you know, the better. The easier it is, I'll say. See here. What's up, D? Deanna says, I've learned so much from Jim in the program. Yes, she has. Jody, Don says, I lost 35 pounds. Yep, Don's another one. Absolutely superstar. Master. Yes, she is. A weight master, 35 pounds. Dawn's story is amazing. Someday I hope she writes a book about it. You'd all be inspired. Do you think that my stuff's inspirational? Dawn's, I think, the most inspirational. Just Jay says, Dawn, I asked Jody because she talked about how life-changing it was. So I wondered if it was the weight or something else. It's everything, to be honest. And Dawn and Jody are two, especially, well, shit, even D. I mean, because D's dealing with a bunch of stuff too. So it's like, again, these are people that are, been in the program for a bit. But it's like what ends up happening, typically the path for people that end up staying in the program, it's like first, obviously, we deal kind of with the weight initially. That's kind of the main thing usually. And then you get the weight down, and then it's more of the personal development piece of it. Because like I said, we always say the weight loss wrapped in personal development. So it's like we get the weight where we want it to go, and then we start focusing on the other areas of our lives, whether it's, relationship stuff, health things, financial things, whatever it may be for everyone's different. But yeah. So yeah, if you stick with this approach, because again, everything we're doing here, we're talking about mindset, we're talking about strategy, we're talking about this approach. Everything we're doing with weight is applicable to all the areas of your life, because every single area of your life, relationships, financial, health, lifestyle, all of these things are filtered through your mind. So once you understand how to influence your mind, you kind of by nature, you can influence a lot of other areas of your life more powerfully. So it's normal to, once you get kind of the weight under control, that you kind of move on to other things and use this stuff with that, right. Traveling around, jet lag. Can't imagine. I felt like jet lag. It's 500 degrees out where I live. And it's like, it's so funny. It's been hot the last couple of days, but literally I walked from my office to my house and I'm like ready to take a nap. It's like moved through molasses out there. It is oppressive. What's up, Heather? Heather says, I often close my eyes when listening to your podcast, and you definitely have eyes of a hypnotist. Very knowing. Well, thank you, Heather. Like that. Deanna likes that. Good analogy, Jim, on the sprint. Yeah, I just came up with that one yesterday. The sprinter and the marathon runners. And I love that one so much. It's one of my favorite analogies ever. Yeah, it's the sprinter and the marathon, right? Because your weight, I always ask this question, say, well, I don't know, marathon, because I just want to get to my goal weight. So you think of your weight loss like a sprint because you think it is just a destination where you get to your goal weight. But how long do you want to live at your goal weight? And then that's when you say, well, forever, and that's when it turns back into a never ending marathon, What's up, Juanita? Juanita says your metaphors and analogies are very, very helpful. Marathon, sprinting, and water fast. Yeah, I appreciate that, Juanita. That's the currency of my trade is metaphors and analogies and concepts. So that's what I deal in with as a hypnotist, because it's a very effective way to kind of conceptualize things and give more meaning and understanding to things. So, excuse me. Throat. Vicky says, hi, Jim. Personal development sustains my weight maintenance. Yeah, agreed, Vicky. I couldn't agree more. Same here. Melanie says, I'm new. Explain your program, please. Sure. I'll explain the program quick and I'll get out of here. But programming yourself then is a system for living at your goal weight for the rest of your life. That's the promise here. And so there's basically 3 key parts. And I look at it this way, that you need to know what to do. You need to be able to get yourself to do it. And you need to have support through that whole process. So knowing what to do, and this is the first step. And most people think they know what to do. I don't agree with that, because I think you've been told what to do. I don't think you have really figured out what works best for you. So the first part of the program is the goal weight blueprints. This really follows the goal weight pyramid, which is mindset, lifestyle, eating. And so we go through the blueprint strategically, and you create the mindset blueprint, lifestyle blueprint, and eating blueprint to live at your goal weight in the easiest, most enjoyable way possible. And this is a living, breathing document. So you kind of go through and you fill it out. You get an understanding of these concepts and ideas, you work with them, and you keep improving and optimizing on them, until it's, again, you're able to live at your goal weight in the easiest, most enjoyable way possible. The next piece of the program is how do I get myself to do it, right? So the blueprints are kind of knowing what to do. And the Program Yourself 10 technique is a 60-second hypnosis exercise you use at night to basically practice and program your mind to do those things that you wrote down, to think that way, to live that way, to eat that way. But we got to practice it. And I think this is one of the biggest missing pieces of most people's weight loss is there's no place or no space to practice being the person they want to be. It's basically just they either do it or they don't. Okay. And so the Program Yourself 10 technique is a way to practice being the person you want to be. And then finally is the goal weight hypnosis system. And again, this is the #1 hypnosis system on the planet. And I know hypnosis programs, believe me. And what this is, because it's beyond just a hypnosis session, it's a system. And it's built like this. For 8 weeks, every morning you get a 5-minute hypnosis session built around a weight loss mantra. And this starts your day relaxed, calm, with lots of good stuff in your head. And at night, each week you get a core weight loss session. So you get 8 of them total. And this is a 10-minute session you listen to at night, ideally. And ideally, you listen to it multiple times. And what this does, it creates a bookending effect where you're waking up, relaxed, calm, thinking this stuff, going to bed, relaxed, calm, thinking this stuff. And there's also Hypnosis library with in-depth sessions if you want to listen to that. But what this does is it basically imprints into your subconscious mind a thin, healthy mindset so that you naturally and automatically start having the thoughts, the ideas, the beliefs of a thin, healthy person. It supports the whole process in addition to the blueprints and the techniques. So that's the whole plan in a nutshell. But then even beyond that, I mean, there's live Tuesday classes, there's gym AI. So you can basically work with the AI version of me. It's an AI clone. It's crazy, you know, so there's a ton of support as well. We got the Circle app. So there's a community as well. A lot of cool stuff, and it's only getting cooler. But what I would suggest if you're new to my world is click the link in my bio and go get the free hypnosis session I give you. Watch the training I made for you, and then use the free stuff that I send to you. If you do want to get the program, what I will suggest too, this is it. This is the last week. And I know I've said this, so if you don't believe me, that's fine. Boy Who Cried Wolf and all that, I get it. But the price is going up to $500 minimum. I will do specials sometimes, but it's going to be $500 minimum right now. You can still get it for $300. So if you are interested in it, now's the time to do it. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, Melanie says, sounds great. My nervous system is so out of whack. But when you say hypnosis, do you mean meditation? I go back and forth all the time with this because okay, so I'm a meditator, and I genuinely believe that the definition of meditation is sitting quietly by yourself with nothing going in your ears. Maybe you're saying a mantra to yourself, but it's all self-generated. Everything's cut out. So in my world, meditation is that. Now there's guided meditations. Now I think guided meditations and hypnosis are kind of the same thing. I think they have different intentions and different techniques being used, but for all, you know, basically they're the same thing. So yes, I would say these sessions are, you could call them hypnosis sessions or guided meditation sessions. I wouldn't call them meditation sessions, but you could call them guided meditations. They might sound like that, but it's even beyond that because now again, some guided meditations are looking to install kind of mantras and ideas for sure. And I'm doing that too, but I'm using what I believe are more cutting edge techniques. I'm using hypnosis techniques. I'm using neurolinguistic programming techniques. So, you know, my sessions compared to like a guided meditator sessions, there's a lot more psychology and intention and technique being used. You know, unless I'm not saying, I'm sure there's some guided meditators out there that are doing real crazy stuff. But I'm doing a lot more than just relaxing you. I'm doing a lot more than just telling you a story. There's a lot of intention there. So hope that makes sense. Oh, I get nervous about hypnosis. No, a lot of people get nervous about hypnosis. I know, you know, especially I know people that are religious have a real negative, I don't know, the devil's playground or something. I can tell you this, there's nothing to be nervous about with hypnosis. You go into hypnosis constantly. Every time you watch a TV show or a movie, that's a state of hypnosis. It's just a calm, relaxed state of being where you're just basically absorbing and living in the imagination. So when you're in a movie, you're not like constantly scanning the theater, looking at the people, looking where you're at, saying, this isn't even real. It's just light hitting my eyeballs. It's just sound waves hitting my eardrums. Those are just actors. They're just reading a script. That explosion wasn't even real. None of this is real. It's all imagination. You're not doing that, right? You're just going along with it. You're allowing yourself to vicariously live in that imagination experience. And because you do that, this is why hypnosis works. Because you allow your imagination to freely experience the movie, you get to have all those experiences, right? So if you're watching a horror movie, you're nervous. If you're watching a comedy, you're laughing. You're watching a drama, you're crying. So again, our imagination creates real responses in our body. This is a very powerful thing to understand. So if you know how to use this, you can use hypnosis to train your mind to think certain things and to feel certain ways and behave in certain ways. So you're always aware. I mean, I'm not going to put you in a hypnotic trance where you have no sense of where you're at. You're always aware of what you're at. Just like when you're watching a TV show or a movie, you can be engrossed in it, right? You can be really wrapped up in your show, but if someone walks in the room, you're aware they're there. That's hypnosis. And it's completely normal and natural. We can't not go into hypnosis. We have hypnotic brains. So we're always going in and out of hypnosis anyways. But yeah, it's guided meditation if you want to call it that, but it's just, it's got more intention behind it. you know. But yeah, nervous system out of whack. I think most people's nervous systems are out of whack. Mine was certainly out of whack, probably still is to some degree, but it's better than it was for sure. But yeah, a lot of this process it is regulating your nervous system. I don't really put in that framework too much, but absolutely. And every day, even if it's just for a couple minutes, going inside yourself and relaxing, breathing, calming down, centering yourself is very powerful. Just that alone, and then there's always all the other stuff in the program though. I feel like you need to be with someone controlling the process. No, totally get it. Well, yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, like if you came into my, I don't work one-on-one hypnosis wise anymore, but I used to have a hypnosis office. And so, yeah, if you came directly into my office with me, yeah, that's ideal. You know what I mean? Like that's the best thing in the world, because then I can control the whole process. I can take you deeper. I can give you exactly specific and, hypnotic suggestions that are directly, for you. That being said, I look at the hypnosis sessions as basically commercials. Commercials are the most hypnotic things you're exposed to regularly. Every single commercial you see is a hypnotic program trying to influence you and get you to take action and get that product. Okay. And so I think of the hypnosis sessions very much like that, but instead of trying to get you to eat Snickers bars, I'm installing suggestions and ideas to get you to make healthier choices naturally. Right. But I don't know. I mean, if you have watched any number of Snickers ads, if I say, what do you think about slogan wise, you probably say Snickers satisfies. Where'd that come from? Right. That's a hypnotic suggestion that's been installed in your mind. You didn't intentionally put it there, but enough of the ads makes it there now. And so now that connection, Snickers satisfies, right? You walk into the convenience store, you're hungry. So Snickers satisfies. You might not even hear it, but it's influencing you, right? So if you think about this, you've got no positive I know for a fact, none of you, because it doesn't exist as far as I can tell me if it does, let me know. I'd love to know about it. But in this reality we live in now, where are you getting consistent positive messages about being the healthiest, happiest, best version of you possible? Where are you consistently getting those messages? And this is where meditation does diverge a bit from hypnosis. Meditation, a lot of times, is kind of like, it's a relaxing experience. Cool, right? My hypnosis sessions are very much designed with intention that I want you to come out of it thinking these, like, again, every session in the program is built around a mantra. And so most of the session will start like, this session's mantra is, nothing tastes as good as thin and healthy feels, whatever, or dinner and done, right? Whatever. There's, again, in the program, right? So think about this, 8 weeks, you join the program, 8 weeks later, you've had 65 at least mantras put in your head, all healthy ones that make you think differently, naturally, automatically, change your identity, shift your thinking. They're all floating around in your head. So just like the bullshit food commercial ads are there in the background influencing you, this becomes a counterweight to it. So yeah, if you come in my office and work directly with me, would that be better? Yeah, probably. But then again, one of the most important hypnotic effects is repetition. So again, even coming into an office and working with me directly is powerful for its reasons, but then having the sessions that you listen to repeatedly and regularly, that has its advantages too. So I would say that both of them are powerful. But again, and for the sake of financial sake, obviously the program and the lessons and sessions in there are way more affordable. I will tell you that, but yes. Guided imagery, very helpful. Yes, guided imagery is very helpful. Your imagination is really one of your most powerful tools, and you've never learned how to use it. And this program shows you how to use it. The Program Yourself technique shows you how to literally program your own mind. The hypnosis sessions do it for you. They just kind of program you. You just have to sit there and listen. And then the blueprints show you what to do. So it's kind of like that. Melanie says, so it's like zoning out. I'm out of whack with the world stuff happening. Yeah, it's like zoning out, I would say. I mean, yeah, it feels like zoning out very much, because it's just usually our conscious mind is very pinpointy. right? You focus on one thing, you know? And so hypnosis is about the subconscious mind. So we're kind of bypassing the conscious critical faculty, the conscious mind, and we're speaking more to the subconscious mind, which operates differently, but it feels like zoning out. That's probably the best description of it. So cool. All right, everyone. You guys are awesome. Thanks for the questions, the comments. I appreciate them all. You're all awesome, and I appreciate that. And so if you're not in my world, make sure you click the link, go get the hypnosis session, watch the video, read the emails, take the Go Away quiz. Again, I'm going to open up the Circle app, the community app for everyone. So it's going to be free. You'll be able to get in there, and I'll punch a bunch of cool stuff in there. And that's kind of kicking off to another level. So even the customers and clients that are in there, that's going to start becoming a bigger part of everything. And I'm super excited for that. A lot of cool things coming down the pike here, and they're all going to start happening pretty quick. But if you're not in my world, make sure you just get on the email list. That's the first step. It's completely free. I'll give you a bunch of free stuff. And this I do every day, Monday through Friday, right around noon Eastern time. It's usually when I'm there, and I'm usually on within about half hour, 12 to 12:30. I'm pretty much get on here. Usually spend about an hour or so on here each day. So get on here. If you have any questions at all, I'm happy to help you. That's literally what I'm here for. So ask your questions. Let me help you. You know, if I can help you, great. If I don't, no harm, no foul, right? But I can almost guarantee you that I can give you some insights that are going to support you and move you more powerfully in the direction you want to go in. All right. So yeah, go check it out. And thanks, Incognito. Have a super duper day. Melanie, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, go check it out. You might love it. And yeah, everyone have a super day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.